What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Leaders Lead, Winners Win. I've done a few things in my life. My name's Cody Adams. I'm your host, and I've learned a ton of lessons. And those lessons I'm trying to pass on to other people that are in a leadership position, maybe in a sales position, maybe in a position of competition. Again, hence the Leaders Lead, Winners Win. Today, we have a special guest. You're not used to this. Usually Leaders Lead, Winners Win is like me in front of the camera yelling at people and shit. I know you're an avid listener and obviously one of my best friends in the entire world. But we're going to be talking about health, wealth, mind, body, soul. And I have the perfect person to do that with. We just finished something incredible, which we'll talk about the entire show. But nonetheless, I have a special guest. His name is Connor Cozen. So Connor, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely something I've listened to, and before the show even existed,
Yeah.
Heard you preach a lot of these things and helped me get to where I'm at. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Connor's one of my best friends in the world. Known you for 10 years now.
Yeah.
We worked together previously at a different company, not to be named. Sorry. We don't name it. Developed an incredible relationship. One of the most disciplined, focused, especially in the fitness world, but just in life in general, most successful guys that I get to, the opportunity to hang out with. And he also happens to be our CFO, our Chief Financial Officer here at Kinfolk Home Loans. And we did something special, guys. So a lot of you guys follow, obviously, our Instagram, or my Instagram specifically. You're going to follow Cozen. It's at Connor Cozen. It's very simple, Cozen. Mm-hmm. But we just finished 75 Hard.
We did.
Yeah. Can you tell the people what 75 Hard is? Kind of start there.
Yeah. So I think probably Andy would appreciate this, but it's not a fitness challenge.
Yeah.
Where you complete the challenge and then you say that you did it, and it's a phase and a little thing that you do and then you move on. It's a program, and we'll get into that, but it's essentially a few different tasks you have to complete on a daily basis for 75 days. And it is a complete transformation or realignment and improvement of your life, both, mentally and physically. I think would be a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Something that creates some grit, some mental fortitude, some intestinal fortitude. And you're right. It's not something, everybody looks at this from the outside, right? The outside, the haters, the people that, whatever it might be, even us before we did it. And it's a physical challenge, because the reality is the results that you can see are physical. The results that you can't see and that we've been talking about for the last however long, especially today, you and I walked, we'd finished our last workout together.
Yeah.
All of the results that stick, all of the results that matter are the ones you can't see. The emotional range and intelligence that you gain from doing this, the mental clarity and sharpness, the relationship stuff that we're going to go through and talk about that have flourished, not only friendships, but relationships. The business aspect. Our business is fucking crushing it.
Yeah.
Our Chief Financial Officer is here to tell you that. It's very simple. But, the physical thing, a lot of people say it's physical. So what is it? It's simple. It's 75 days.
Yep.
With no cheats, no turnarounds, no shortcuts, no bullshit. If you fail one thing, you have to start back at day one. 75 days of drinking a gallon of water, sticking to and picking a diet. You can't change it midway because you want to change based off of your specific goals. So if you're losing weight, you're losing weight. We'll talk about it in the podcast. Mm-hmm. Reading 10 pages per day.
Of a non-fiction
book. Usually personal development, something like that. Take a progress picture every day, which we're going to talk about. That one's interesting. Mm-hmm. 2 45-minute workouts. It's the physical part, the fitness part. One has to be outside. And then the other one's no booze, which for a lot of people is hard. For me, it was hard. We're going to go through that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Andy Frisilla created it, and he is the CEO and owner of First Form. And a few other things. He dabbles in many different businesses. I've been personally listening to Andy since 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
I think you have too.
Yeah, definitely on and off, and definitely the last, couple of years just completely transformed the amount of content that I'm consuming, but not, consuming it and letting it roll out one ear and not the other, but actually applying it. And that's
taking the actual information you get, whether it be Andy or Ed or Hormozy or any of these guys, he's super rich, super successful, super honest, super candid guys that are giving the entire playbook.
Real as fuck, some would say.
Yeah, real AF. That's the show, right? They're giving you the playbook, and ultimately they're just trying to see you succeed. This is a free program, by the way. 75 Hard is free. The Live Hard program is a year-long program, and it's FREE. It's fucking free.
Yep.
That Andy puts out, which is awesome. But we'll talk through the program and how that whole thing works out, obviously, throughout this podcast. So stay tuned. We're going to talk through the highs, the lows, advice we're going to give you, lessons learned, each different task. But I figured we kind of start with people don't know you as much as they know me.
Yeah.
And they don't really know my fitness journey, and I know they don't know yours. So we'll kind of start like, where did your fitness journey start? Again, this is a mental toughness program that does have a fitness component. So we'll just kind of start there. Where'd your fitness journey start, or tell the people a little bit about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I was definitely raised into a family where fitness was important. And, you've met my dad, you've seen my dad.
Yeah.
The guy's, mid 60s, looks like he's 39, still kick my ass to this day and reminds me of it every time I see him.
He's going to listen to this.
Absolutely. 100%. Love him to death. But, he played, professional football and college football. And I was blessed to obviously, not be around during that time, but I was blessed to be around, as a baby, to see him, lifting weights and going to the gym. I mean, I remember, ironically, the cross streets that I live on right now, believe it or not, those cross streets on the northeast corner, there was a personal training studio that I used to go to with my dad.
Yeah.
And he would train with Mr. Universe. His name was Lance. And he would train and work out with that guy when I was honestly probably 6 or 7 years old. And I used to go in there and see I'd crawl over the equipment and, watch my dad make these crazy faces.
We're born in the gym.
Yeah. And I remember crawling around and doing that. And that's kind of stuck with me. But I got into hockey at, 8 years old.
Sure.
They put me on skates and I was extremely competitive. And I played hockey, up until the point where I was, 20 years old. And I played in Canada. And I was, it was something that I was extremely, extremely talented at. But I take a lot of pride in because it took me 20 years to get good at it.
It just such as everything in life, though, right? Like,
yeah.
It takes time.
100%.
It takes fucking time.
Yeah, I was 8, and, I didn't really see the benefits of it until I was 16, 17. You don't think about it back then.
The grind, the process, the work.
Yeah, the hours, and my dad, helped build the arena that we played in. So, instead of going and playing video games and stuff, my dad would drop me off at the rink, and I would skate for 3 hours before practice started.
Sure.
And he would go back to work. And then by the time everybody got there, I'd already been skating for 3 hours. And that was, I think I learned that lesson. But just being, my mom was a cheerleader, things like that. Like she was, very into being in shape growing up. My brother was an incredible example. Always, hitting a punching bag, running, motocross, like always in great shape. He's, fire captain for Phoenix.
He's a fire captain, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's just an absolute stud, always was around that. So I think I was very blessed in that regard. But I was telling you earlier, I kind of peel off on this story real quick. But
yeah.
That one of the biggest things for me was I played hockey until, very competitively, traveling until really sophomore year. I took a break in high school. I took 1 year off and I played video games and did
Call
my
of
own
Duty,
thing.
baby.
Had a year, right?
Don't
sophomore
forget about the
year,
game drop.
Call of Duty,
yeah.
Modern Warfare 4 or whatever. Maybe it's just Modern Warfare back then. But did that for a year, and then junior year I was like, I'm gonna play football. My dad played football. The coach had been trying to get me to play, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I played my junior year, and I was, I'm athletic, so it was fine. I was on varsity, didn't play a whole lot, played a ton of JV. I'd never even touched, really football cleats my whole life. It was always skates.
The blade instead of the spikes, baby.
Yeah, always, but I was in shape from playing hockey and whatnot. And all these kids had grown up playing hockey or football together since they were 8 years old, and that had been the coach at that high school that's been there for 10 years they were going to play for. And the coach left my junior to senior year over summer. And everybody was like, well, to hell with this. It's going to be a completely new team. I don't want to play for this guy. Who knows who the new guy is going to be? They were looking at coaches. And I saw it as an opportunity of like, all right, I've got a clean slate. It's going to be my senior year. And I know these guys are all going to go drink and act like idiots all summer. I'm going to train. And I don't know where I got that from. Nobody told me to do it, but I was asking my dad like, hey, will you come throw me routes? I'm going to go run bleachers on my own. I was running back and forth in my pool with a 45-pound plate over my head. You can ask my parents. They were like, what is wrong with this kid?
And blisters on your feet.
Just so stupid.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic because we started, spring ball, and I was in better shape than everybody. And we went up to Camp Winslow in Winslow, Arizona, which, if anybody's ever been there, is atrocious. I mean, there's nothing there.
There's like some tumbleweeds in
we
the
slept
winter.
in the gym.
I know a gym, the Winslow High School gym.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Yeah, we did one of the largest. I wrestled.
Yeah,
my freshman sophomore year.
Yeah,
and they have the biggest wrestling tournament there. It's huge.
Yeah, places. It's
freezing.
Not a whole lot up there, and they brought us up there on purpose. And they didn't really say anything, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna kick everybody's ass in workouts because these guys don't know anybody. I'm gonna set the tone. And, I was blazing through workouts, and it's because of all the work that I put in over summer instead of complaining. And I think I just got that from my dad, and ended up being named first captain of the football team, which is whatever, that was 10 years ago. But I think that the lesson was that I saw the chance to, instill discipline in myself at a young age from my parents. And that's something that I really want to instill in my children one day.
Yeah.
And the people around me, and, as you've seen.
Yeah. Benefited from.
Yeah, but I think I just grew up around that. And then I finished football, and I actually was like, all right, I'm kind of sick of being skinny, running like crazy. You know how it is in football.
Sure.
You run sprint after sprint after sprint, right? Yeah, and nobody likes running. If you do, you're crazy. My brother likes running, but I don't believe him. But basically... I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to work out. I'm gonna try to build some serious muscle. And I ended up doing a bodybuilding show at 19. And at
which
19,
was 30 years ago.
Yeah, which was no, I'm not that old yet. 10 years ago, almost to the day, actually.
That's crazy.
It was in March.
By the way, I know we haven't mentioned this, but so Connor and I started 75 hard. Not to interrupt you.
No, yeah.
So we started 75 hard on New Year's Day. Yeah. Not the day after when we're hungover, which I was hungover on New Year's Day, but we got it done. We started day one, New Year's Day, so 1/1/2023. When you're watching this, it's probably sometime in the end of March or maybe beyond. Yeah. However, we did day one, 1/1/2/3, and then tonight we just finished. We literally finished the last food, workout, everything, just posted. And we said, you know what? To cap this off, let's make this. So it's 316. On a Stone Cold Steve Austin, 316/2/3, 75 days straight. But anyways, just to give you a point of reference, because obviously this is going to be watched for years. So
right. No, that's a very valid point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did a bodybuilding show at 19, and the loophole there was I knew my genetic makeup. I'm a little bit taller, not as tall as you, but with bodybuilding, you have to have smaller joints and muscle bellies and things like that. And I understood that. So it's not a lot of money in it, which I recognized luckily at a young age. But when you do a show at 19, it's still teens. There's no weight division. So I knew that once I turned 20, it would become weight. And, there's no way I was going to be able to compete with guys that are 30 years old at the same weight. They just have more time. And, with respect to them, there's just no way I was going to be able to compete. Right. So I did that. Never really had a desire to ever do a different one. It was fantastic. It was in Vegas. I got in the best shape of my life. And then from there, I just kind of got on the workout.
Second best now.
Yeah. Second best shape. I'm right now in the
fucking
greatest shape I've ever been in my entire life. Right
same.
Now. Hands down. And just got the workout vibe from there. I worked at a couple of gyms, worked at GNC, worked at High Health, did all that.
Yep.
Wish I would have worked at First Forum.
Yeah. Shout out to Andy.
But yeah, did that and then thought about going to school.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Thought about going to school and then heard about mortgages and dropped out, and I'd hated school and realized it wasn't for me, and never stopped working out. But then I met you.
Yeah. We made some money together. It's been great. It's been a great ride.
Still are.
Yeah, you think? We're also running March Madness as we transition. I'll talk a little bit about my fitness journey, and we'll get into 75 hard.
Please do.
Dude, we just ended round one in March Madness. It's our first year as a company running March Madness. And if you're in the banking world or the sales world, there's a few months, and leaders lead, winners win. I just talked about this in my last episode, one of my last episodes. Like, there's a few months. There's March, and then there's usually July or August that are huge months that typically, and then like October. Yeah. Because there's just longer months.
Just in finance in general.
In finance in general, we're like, there should be a competition. And we just had our competition go down to the wire, and there was controversy. And let's just put it this way. We have more loans on the 16th of March than we did all of February.
It's incredible.
And we have been sitting back and taking the back seat, and we're still doing well.
Yeah. So
personally.
proud.
So yeah, you guys don't know this, but a couple things. One, I played very competitive football. I told him a little story. I was a super fat kid growing up, super fat kid. Just ate all the bad things. Kind of the opposite like you. Like you had pretzels in your house. I had everything you could fucking shake a stick at. I grew up on frozen pizza. I grew up on Oreos. I grew up on shitty, processed, terrible foods.
You were the kid's house that I went to, and I was like, this is heaven.
Oh my God.
When I was young. Yeah.
That was us. Yeah. If we had food. Well, play me a sob story. No, but look, that's what it was. And I ended up being like 175 pounds at 5 foot flat. And I was like 11 years old and I wanted to play football and I couldn't play. So they bumped me up a category, but I was still 15 pounds too heavy for midgets instead of junior midgets, which was my age group. And ultimately cut 18 pounds to make weight. Took me like 3 or 4 games into the season. And from that time on, I found, the love of my life at that time, which was football, and excelled quickly, became a starter on our varsity squad in Bullhead City in Mojave, which isn't saying much. Just kidding. Our high school was badass back in the day. Not so much now. But it was. We were really good. Became all-state, led the state in tackles, did really well. I ended up going to Mesa Community College. Should have gone elsewhere, but it is what it is. And then I ended up getting hurt and trying to walk on it as Arizona State and ended up getting hurt, and that was it. Once I got hurt, my whole background was in kinesiology, so I think you know this, but my whole degree up until that point of me getting hurt at Arizona State, my whole background was in kinesiology and exercise science. I loved it. It was what I did. And I ended up getting hurt. My identity up until that point, from the time that I lost all that weight until that point, my life was football. Everything, every girl that I ever met and dated, every accolade or recognition I had was all based off of football. I ended up getting hurt. My identity was gone. I'm like, what the fuck do I know now?
Yeah.
All I knew was kinesiology. All I knew was exercise science. I knew how to lose weight because I did it myself. So I became
that's what I went to school for too, but for like an hour and a half.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I did it for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was like, I am going to be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So I went to 24 Hour Fitness, got NASM certified and ACE certified.
Right. Yeah.
NASM's way hard. It was harder. ACE is like you walk in and they give you a fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I had a really good book of clientele. I was 32nd in Camelback, 24 Hour Fitness. I was there for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Used to sell illegal supplements out of the back, and not illegal supplements, but supplements illegally. That's what I should have said. I just would sneak protein bars out the back and pay them, give them to people as side cash. It's not good. Probably shouldn't be saying that on air, but fucking sue me.
You learn the lesson.
Yeah, I learned the lesson. But anyway, so, did that for a while. Had a couple people, Coletta Anderson, I'll never forget her in my entire life. She lost 104 pounds with me, learned how to do it, loved fitness. But what happened, Connor, is that I was in the gym so much that I hated working out myself all of a sudden. I was in the gym, 6 a.m. client, 7 a.m. client, 8 a.m. client before work. Then I'd have a couple hours, then some lunch clients, and then afternoon clients. I wouldn't get done until 9 p.m. I wasn't making any money in that realm.
Right.
It sucked. So I got into sales and then found mortgages. And then ultimately, right before I almost went to chiropractic school. That's a different life and different story, but that's kind of been my fitness journey. I've always been a gym rat. I've always been the person. I love going to the gym, but you lose your way sometimes. And I've got to the point where I was 270 pounds almost. There's pictures of me in 2014, 2015. My body snaps back quickly. I got back down to 225 doing CrossFit. This is 15 and 16, so on and so forth after I left when I was in the sales realm. And I've been walking around somewhere between 225 and 235 for a long time. 75 Hard came out, I think 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And since it's come out, I've in my mind, I'm like, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need a reset. I need to do this.
You have, yeah. I've been around it.
And I had I don't know, I think 4 or 5 false starts. I've gotten to day 21, day 28, day 3, I've done a bunch of times where I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I've never, ever, ever completed until today, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So much so that one of the chips on my shoulder through this whole thing, one of my best friends said, hey, if you add up all the times that you did a false start, you might get to 75 days. And that human being said that. He said that in the beginning, the first week of me doing this 75 Hard thing.
Yeah. A little bit of fuel.
It was fuel for sure.
For sure.
So that's kind of where my fitness journey ended, and it obviously ended up here. And it's an ongoing, ever-growing, ever-changing thing fitness-wise. You change what you want your physique to look like day in and day out, what you want. You can tweak your body. But it really, the fulcrum or the genesis, the start of the second half of my fitness journey, so I'm 32, is this. We chose to do 75 hard. So let's talk a little bit about that. Why did you choose to do 75 hard? And so on and so forth. Let's leave it there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think
because you're in really good shape.
Yeah, I appreciate
you always
that.
were.
I appreciate that. And I was going to say, you brought up 15, 16 is kind of when I started in mortgages. And I think I came into the job at, 212, 215, pretty beefy, but looking good. And I instantly got into sales, and I think I dropped, 15, 20 pounds right away.
We have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
You're a hard gainer. I am a hard loser.
Yeah, that's true.
That guy, I can look at food and fill and fucking gain 15 pounds.
Yeah,
you're the opposite.
Me and Boats are the opposite.
Me and Chris. Shout out to Chris. What's up, baby?
Yeah, baby. In 15, 16, I probably dropped 20 pounds, and I was, making money hand over fist, and things were great, and I was very happy with that. And I realized, hey, I got to pick one here. Should I be in great shape, or should I make a ton of money? And at that point in my life, it was, you need to make a lot of fucking money. And that was what was important. And my dad, said, hey, this is what's important. And he was right, and I was going to say real quick on the pretzel thing.
Dude.
I thought about this, but
I bring that up because you talk about it all the time.
I do talk about it all the time. Is I am so thankful for both my parents that the snacks that we had in the house, and something that I will do with my children, no matter what, is keep good food in the house, keep the shit out of the house. Yeah. And we had soda in the guest fridge or whatever, the laundry room fridge. And I remember I'd go in there.
How many fridges this guy got?
We had 2. And if I
that's why that's it's a white privilege stuff.
No,
man.
we didn't have the freezer in the garage with all the meat in it. That's like super white.
Yeah.
Bullhead City, get the deer in there or whatever.
Bullhead City, man, we ain't got no fridge, dude.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? We throw it on some ice blocks and hopefully it stays out there.
That's a good point. Yeah. But I lost a bunch of weight in 15, 16, get back to that. And then I remember our regional vice president at the time said, hey, you look pretty skinny. Are you skinny? And I was like, I hadn't been called skinny in a long time, and it freaked me out. And I was like, all right, I'm not. I'm going back to it. And I was like 17, 18. So from 17 to 19, we partied a lot, made a lot of money. Yeah, those of you that know, it was different life, different time. Made a lot of money and got back in shape. And then since then I've just been on it. But why did to get back on track? Why did I do 75 hard? I think you had to have been the one that brought it up, and I did. Had seen you. Talk about doing it and start it, and maybe I had not really paid attention to what it was many times when you started it. So I had thought you only had maybe tried to do it twice. I really knew one time, and I think you said twice, but 3 or 4 times now that I know that. I didn't know that.
What's crazy, bro, is I think in my mind, like truthfully, and I think like hopefully like, people that have done this listen to this podcast, but in my mind, I've started it 50 times.
Right.
Because I'll start and I'm like, you know what? That beer sounds way better. We'll get to that, but I've done it 100 times.
Yeah, and I think just you saying that you want to do it, and I swear to God, one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this was so that you could do this.
I appreciate that.
And we've been so close for so long, and there was a year there where we're both doing our own things, and now we're obviously working together and things are awesome, but I knew that I could get you to do it.
I appreciate
because I knew that I could do it mentally.
Yeah.
I'm one of the most disciplined people I've ever met in my life, and I take a lot of pride in that. But I knew that you would not quit if I was doing it with you, because you knew you're going to see me every single day, and I would roast you for it. And I just knew that I would be the one that could get you through it, because I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was hard as hell. I'm not sitting here saying that it was easy. I knew I could do it because it was hard. Worth it, hard. But I was also in a place in my life where, I needed to take some ownership for things that were going on in my life. I needed to clean some things up. I didn't need to be drinking. I needed to get back on a routine. I wanted to get in better shape.
Yeah.
I needed to focus on growing the company with you and not going to pointless dinners and drinking pointless drinks and getting in arguments with people for no reason but
doing
my
the
own.
same thing.
Yeah, same monotonous shit. And I think I just was like, you know what? This is a good time for me to start this year. I'm going to be 30 years old this year. We're building this company, and I want to help you get through this. Those were probably the two main. I needed to clean some things up personally, and I really wanted to help you do this.
Well, I appreciate it. And, obviously we're going to talk about some thank yous, but you're a huge, I couldn't have done it without you. And Yeah, you're right. Seeing your face every morning, 6 a.m, every single day at Independence Gym, like fucking clockwork.
Yeah, you know I'm going to be there.
You know you're going to be there.
I'm the one.
And then like, you know, in the office, like we hang out every day. We've hung out more than anybody else has hung out besides us hanging out with our own selves.
Yeah.
There's no able to cheat on the meals, and the progress doesn't lie. We'll talk about progress pictures, but yeah, I think for me, I obviously tried it 100 times, but that cleaning life up, like I went through a really tumultuous, crazy 2022. I mean, I literally left the company that I thought I was going to become the CEO of. I know it sounds crazy, but that was like my mindset. Started another company, lived on my mom's couch, lived in my buddy's casita. Like the most crazy year. I fucking, drained a bank account, filled a bank account, like anything you could possibly, broke up with a girl, met the love of my life. It's the craziest 12 months ever. And everything fell into place. And I said, this is the time that I'm going to do it. I'm literally going to do this, not for the image, not for anybody else, not because Connor's helped me, even though that was obviously a huge help, but for me, like I'm going to do it for me. And I think through like learning that the only person that is going through the processes and shit that I had to deal with in 2022, in the beginning of 2022, in the middle of 2022, the only person that was going to be able to pull me out of the situation that I was in was me. It's the person in the mirror. Mm-hmm. Nobody's coming to save me. Like nobody came to save me. There's people that support me through that situation, but it's just the truth. So for me, it's like, all right, now you've gone this far. How can you get to the next level? And it was 75 hard.
Yeah. I never came to you. Sorry. I never came to you and said, let's do this.
No.
A choice by you. And I love it. I'm so happy that you did.
Yeah. And it's like, and I had some fucking unfinished business, like real talk. Like when you start something, and I had some unfinished business, man.
Yeah.
So, and then, it didn't help that there's people in my life that, and let's talk about this for a second. We didn't even plan on talking about this, but there's people in my life that were doubters. And even Chris put on a story tonight, which is incredible. They said you couldn't, fuck them. There's people in my life that didn't think that I could do this, or didn't think that we could do this, or that we were going to fall off the wagon at some point, or cheat, or whatever the case is. And that right there was another reason why. I know it sounds crazy, but just like Andy says all the time, man, he's one of our biggest role models. The dark side of motivation gets you through some shit. Mm-hmm. And for some of my closest friends to talk a bunch of shit and say that I couldn't do it, which they had every right to do. Because the reality is I tried 50 times and I failed 50 times. Yeah. Like it just so happened, the boy who cried wolf, and I did it on the 51st. Yeah. Obviously, we did it on the 50th. So anyways, that was a big thing. And the hater portion, I want to get your take on this. The people that say that are talking shit behind our back. The people that said we couldn't do it. The people that mimic and talk, or whatever the case is, behind our back. In my opinion, they're just projecting their own insecurities and their own fear onto us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because there's people that literally, whether we like it or not, are going to do one of two things. They're going to say they did it, but they probably drank. They did it, but they definitely had some pizza on their diet. They did it, but there's no way they did 100. We stand right here as it sits right now. I'm sorry I'm going on this rant.
No, this is great.
We sit here right now, 75 days in. We did 150 fucking workouts. We did 75 days with no booze and no cheat meals, okay? We took 75 different progress pictures. We read 750 fucking pictures. We drank 75 gallons of water.
Oh, yeah, the water.
Okay?
More than that.
Right now, in 75 days. And that's only 2.5 months. So there's going to be people that say we didn't do X, Y, and Z. And to those people, what do you say? What do you say to the haters? What do you say to people? I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but
no, it's when you own the company and it's your show, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? So honestly, you have the mic for a reason, right? You set this up for a reason. You can do whatever you want. I don't know. I just look at things, and I've told you this walking out so many times. I always have told you, I try to, and no one's perfect, but I try to strive, and I'm not perfect in everything. And those of you that know me, like, I'm working on it, but I try to have as many things in my life aligned as I can. And I did get this from Andy. He says, show me your fucking bank account, show me your body, show me your relationships,
Sure.
show me your business, show me your balance sheet, and then I'll fucking take advice from you.
Yep.
And that's something that like I take a lot of respect from. So, people can say anything to you, and I don't care if you're an IFBB pro bodybuilder, but you are broke off your ass and you're not taking care of your family. Like,
I'm not going to take advice
I
from
respect your fitness journey, and I may ask you physical fitness questions, but I don't respect, I don't know if respect's the word, but I don't value your opinion overall.
Sure.
If you're not in line. And I don't think anyone's perfect by any means, but that really sticks with me. So I look at people, it's funny. You never see anyone who is killing it in business giving you a hard time for your business or you signing your lease. It's always, that's a badass. You guys did that, man. You're growing like crazy. That's cool.
It's always the bottom looking up at the top.
Yeah. I've never had anybody who's in better shape than me or in similar shape to me be like, we'll see if you can do it. You'll see if you can do it. It's always these people that look like shit. And I'm pretty blunt. And if you don't know me, you're learning that here. I'm getting a little loose here, but
warming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's always people that look like shit that never had an ab in their life. They can't put down a beer, and they probably cheated. Well, you know what? To those people, I just say I hope that you can do this, and I hope that you try it, and I'll help you try it. And
that's a fair assessment.
It takes some people we influenced in 1 or 2 days. They were like, I got to get in shape, and some people it took us 75 days, and then. Some of the people even closest to us, 74 days in, were like, hey, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I got so many people today that are like, hey, what is
awesome,
this?
right?
What's this?
Yeah.
And I don't hate on that. And I don't look at it like, oh, now you believe in us. It's,
yeah.
I'm just happy to set the example. And I think that when you look at people that talk like that and stuff, it's, I think you're right. It's projecting insecurities, and you just have to know that. And I'm just trying to set the best example that I can for my future kids.
Yeah, I think there's a dark side of it and there's the light side of it. Like, you're right. Today was unbelievable, overwhelming. People that I didn't even know were watching reached out. Hey, congratulations. This is awesome. Proud of you. So on and so forth, which is awesome. And I think there's something to be said, just to highlight what Connor just said. Like, if someone is not in good shape, you don't take fitness advice from them. If someone has a shitty, unhealthy bank account, you don't take financial advice from somebody who's broke. If somebody has a terrible marriage, you don't take marriage advice from them. So remember that when you do have haters talk to you, because just like you said, like, nobody's perfect, but your pursuit of perfection should be in place. Your pursuit of happiness should be in place. Your pursuit of having an incredible body, because you only get one of them.
Oh man. Could go on for days.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it should be in place. You should be trying to, it's the pursuit, man. It's the pursuit. It's the process. If you're not trying to make your relationship the best relationship that's ever walked this earth, then why are you doing it? If you're not trying to make $100 million and you're just trying to skate by and not get the financial advice you want, then why are you even trying to make money? So I guess to your point, you're right. Why even listen to the people? Because if you look at those same people that I know that have talked shit, I don't envy their lives.
Yeah.
I don't care about their lives. So I think you're right.
I think that's something I've learned over time too. I've been the person to in the past say like, oh, well this, well that, well this, well that. And it's just I credit a lot of it to what we put in our brain now.
Sure.
And you and me being around each other and having to set an example for these guys that are working with us. Now I think that's changed a lot of things. I don't have time to worry about other people's opinions anymore.
Yeah.
It's either you're with me and you're in on this and I'd love to help you, or like, I wish you the best. I don't have time for it. I have to set the example for the people that are with me right now. Mm-hmm. And this is one thing I had to say is one of my biggest fears in my entire life is my son or my daughter coming up to me and saying, why don't we have a house like that? Or why don't we have that kind of car? Or why don't you have that body? Why don't you look like that? Why don't we get to go on those kinds of trips? Whatever it may be. And for some people, it might be, why don't we have a house instead of an apartment? There's not certain things that are right or wrong, right? But one of my biggest fears is having to tell my future kids or my nieces or nephews, whatever it ends up being in my life, it's because I didn't work hard enough. Everyone is the same. No one out there is smarter, you can go to all the schooling in the world. It comes down to discipline and work ethic.
Yeah.
And it terrifies me to ever have to say to my kid or, younger generation, well, I just didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
Like that scares the shit out of me.
I think there's two things. I agree. I've talked about that actually with Chloe. Mm-hmm. Like, I never want Ellie, she's our 7-year-old, to ever think, why are we living in this place? And, Uncle Connor's, no offense, but it's whatever. Like, Uncle Connor's place is nicer than our place. Like, why is his car nicer? I totally feel you on that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. And some of you might be watching, like, these guys are, worried about the wrong things. I promise you, or not, you should start worrying about this stuff, because I promise you, your significant other does, or they're going to down the road, and so is your kids. Peace and example. I put those two things in my mind. Just to, if I had it, I'd put it on the bulletin board. But the peace thing. One, I mean, we'll talk about lessons learned, but something that is really, we've talked about all the time, is being unfuckwittable and having our peace and not allowing anybody to enter that peace zone. And I think that this 75 days has really taught me that. Like, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. And I don't care about your feelings. You can't fuck with my peace, because I need to get these things done. We're going to go through the tasks.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get these things done. We had to say no a lot.
A lot.
And it was lonely sometimes. It was not fun sometimes to say no. But we were in a cycle, whatever cycle that is. Drinking cycle, eating cycle, bad relationship cycle, bad friendships cycle, bad business cycle, whatever cycle it was. And this really broke the cycle for us. And it put me specifically, speaking for myself, at peace. I feel like everything I'm doing now, and this changed my life, everything I'm doing now, I'm exactly where I should be. Every single thing I'm doing, I'm at peace. If I'm a little late, I don't feel guilty for being late. You know why? Because I did all of the things that I needed to do yesterday, and I'm going to do all the things I needed to do today, and I'm going to do it the next day. I feel completely at peace. If someone says,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and if someone says, "Oh, you missed this dinner," or you're going to go to a Super Bowl party and not drink, yeah, I am, and it's very peaceful. And it's awesome. You know what I get to do? I wake to wake the next day and not be hungover, and not feel like shit, and not have stomach problems. So I'm at peace, and that's like the best thing from this thing.
I agree.
And then you said it, and I want to touch on it before we get into the tasks and stuff. Like, we brought some people with us, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like.
Incredible.
Yeah. Like they say, the old saying is, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. We led horses to water, and a lot of them drank.
Yeah.
In
different,
different capacities for sure. But like, just, shout out to Chloe. Chloe literally joined not 75 hard, but she joined us in a position where she stopped doing a couple things and started working out and doing everything that she wanted to do in her own right and capacity on January 23rd, and hasn't missed a step since. You have a lot of our people closest to us, our office. They fell off after about a week. Shout out to you guys that are listening, but it's the truth. Office 75 hard, but you have some guys that literally haven't drank in 75 days.
Yeah.
You have guys that have gone to the gym that haven't been to the gym in a long time. They're looking a lot better. Mm-hmm. Their spouses and significant others are starting to notice their changes, and they're thanking us.
Got the whole office reading.
Whole office is reading. Whole office is doing better than they ever have.
I've seen some people every guy's made a bigger paycheck they've ever made in their entire lives the last 75 days.
100%.
Incredible.
I have friends and family, not only on like Instagram. I had a couple guys that just literally like, I'm doing it. You have Kosh, for example, James De La Rosa, started 75 hard.
Awesome.
You have our closest friend group, whether it be just like you said, 2 days in, 14 days in, 52 days in, or 74 days in, or finally like, you know what, I'm going to do this. We're bringing people along. And it's cool to be the example is my point.
It is.
And we've always been leaders. Like, you led a team. I led a team. Like, we've led some people over the last few years. Mm-hmm. And being a leader is telling the truth even when our voice shakes, is setting the example, being in the trenches, leading from the front, serving other people. And all of those things encompass 75 hard as a byproduct. Not even as like, that's the main reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was really important. It's really cool.
It's unbelievable how many people you affect as you go through the program that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
You know, your parents, my parents are out walking together again. Yeah. I've always been on my mom to, you know, hey, I need you to get out and walk. You know, you got to stay young, got to keep walking. And, you know, now they're sending me videos of them walking, and that's the most rewarding thing in the whole world.
It really is.
It really is. Seeing these guys, you know, not bring in some of the bad food and reading books and asking for books. And it's incredible. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's really cool is in the beginning when you're feeling that guilt of bringing in bad food, just speaking about it. Well, let's just go into tasks because we're going to go through these. So the tasks, we're going to dive into each one, some pros, some cons, some things we learned. But the diet thing, right? So you got to pick a diet and you got to stick to it. That's the whole point. Now, you might be gaining muscle or you might be trying to put on weight. You might be trying to lose weight. That's going to be completely up to you. But there's no cheat meals. It's no bullshit. It's no pizza and fucking French fries and fucking candy and all the stuff, cookies, your favorite, all of those things you can't have for 75 days. But, you know, I thought it was interesting. We would have our guys bring in some food and we're like, what do you got?
Yeah. What are you eating over there? What is that
over there, bud? What's going on? And it's not from a judgy standpoint. I remember like literally in the beginning, I was eating pistachios. Like, what are you fucking eating? Put those down. And I was like, fuck. Like, but you feel like at the beginning.
I think you ate a half a pistachio and I was like, you can't eat those. And you're like, fuck.
I threw them across the room.
Yeah,
I think I threw them at you.
Almost ate one.
But like, you know, like literally you feel a little judged and you feel insecure and you feel like you don't know. And I think a lot of people that are going to go through it, or if they've been through it, they feel that way with your diet. It's like, fuck, I feel judged if I do eat this, if I don't eat this, is this the right thing? There's guilt that comes into play. So I just think it's really, really interesting. What are your thoughts on the diet and what did you do? And
yeah, I know my body pretty well after all the years of training, and I've had, you know, shout out Corey Upton Fitness, guy's a stud. I have had Corey make me a diet in the past, so I kind of knew where to go off of that, and I kind of asked his advice because guy looks like fucking Greek god, so why not ask his advice? That's what he does for a living, right? I asked him kind of what I should be following. I worked with Wes Watson a little bit.
Shout out to Wes, man.
Yeah, shout out to Wes. About some diet and some exercise and things like that, and a lot of mindset with Wes. But I just kind of follow the macro-based diet, and I knew exactly where I needed to be and how my body kind of cycles in and out of food. And my goal was really I knew that I would keep the weight fairly similar, but transform my body quite lean with also adding a little bit of muscle, which sounds a little crazy, but I know how to do it, and I knew I could do it. I didn't know I could do it for 75 days, so I'm very happy the way it turned out. But the macro part, I think, and you can speak on this better than anybody right now. Most people don't know what, you know, macronutrients are and what that's proteins, fats, and carbs. And most people do not understand how much protein, fats, and carbs are in the foods that they eat on a regular basis.
Yeah, the calories.
Yeah.
And the grams.
The grams and what it does to your body and what it can do to your body. And how much protein you really do need to eat as a male or female to put on lean muscle, and how much carb depletion and fat you do need to deplete. You don't need to go to zero, but you need to learn what those are. And it's crazy what you do when you get that dialed in, and you can definitely speak to that.
Yeah, so I did the same thing. Mine was a little bit different. So a couple things. One, so you guys know, and I talked about this on my Instagram story, so I'll talk about it now, but when you look at overall macronutrients, when you look at protein, 1 gram of protein equals 4 kilocalories or kcals, calories. Okay. 1 gram of carbohydrate is the exact same thing, 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is 9. Whoa, double. Holy shit. So you have my goal, and your goal should be to only feed your lean body mass. So I have roughly 195, 197 pounds of lean body mass. If I was at 0% body fat, that's where I would be. Okay. I'm not. I'm at like 230. Okay. You boys got a little weight on them. So you want to eat 1 gram of protein. All the science says it. It could be up or down a little bit, but look at this. Look at the journals. 1 gram of protein per lean body mass. You're only feeding your muscle. So for me, it's about 200 or what you would like to be. So for example, I am only feeding my muscle. Make sense? So 200 grams. Not you, but someone who is trying to gain muscle would eat above and beyond what their lean body mass is.
Yeah.
So if you're 185 pounds at 0%. That's your lean body mass. And you want to get to 200, you need to eat 200.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Now, if you take 200, you divide that or multiply that by 4, that's only 800 calories. It's not a lot. And the quality of protein that you put in your body is really important as well. Lean meats, fish, tilapia,
clean real food.
Clean, real food. Non-processed shit. Same thing with carbohydrates, guys. It's the same exact thing. You can play with carbohydrates. And so many people are under the impression that they have to have 0 carbohydrates. I need to do the Atkins diet or keto and all this stuff. The reality is it just becomes this huge crash. I'm not a fitness expert, but it's the truth because I've done it. I'm only talking from personal experience. It becomes a crash. You're like, I'm not going to eat carbs. I'm not going to eat carbs. I'm going to do ketosis. Well, what happens is you're about to get into ketosis. The Atkins is just a different, same exact thing. It's all about ketones. Mm-hmm. You get into this position where you're about to be in ketosis and then you say, fuck it, and you have some bread, or you say, fuck it, and you have some rice, and that kicks you out. Mm-hmm. So you stay in this everlasting thing of, I'm not going to eat carbs and I'm going to lose weight. And it's in your mindset. It's all over the media. Everybody's talking about keto. Everybody's talking about this shit. But then you eat carbohydrates and guess what happens? Your body kicks out of ketosis and you're in a bad position. So that was me forever. So typically, I think you did about 200 grams of carbohydrate, 200 grams of protein. That was my macronutrients. And the thing that opened up my eyes is something that you helped me out a ton with. Was my relationship with fat in foods. Everyone is overeating in their fat category for macronutrients by hundreds of grams of fat, which is hundreds of calories.
Yeah, you don't realize it. I'll talk real quick about.
Yeah, please.
I love sweets, and Chris Boats loves this. Dude, you're a fat kid at heart. Like I love sweets and brownies and cookies, and I can get away with it. Yeah. I know that with my body. I know it's probably not going to always be like that, but then I see my dad, and I'm like, maybe it will. But that guy doesn't really eat any sweets either. Like oatmeal cookies.
Sure. Yeah.
But and there's so much fat in food, and people don't realize that, but it's there for a reason, man. So that you get fucking addicted to it.
And cessation, like the feeling of feeling full.
Yeah, you can these food companies can put preservatives and things in their food that are addictive to you. Mm-hmm. That's what we've done as a country. And don't get me wrong, I fuck up some Oreos, but the reason that they taste so good is because those chemicals are in there. But the fat, when you look at fat in food, you should, if you're listening to this, you should look at what you've eaten today, and you should go just type in, cheeseburger from this place. What are the macros? What are the nutrients? And write the fat, the carbs, and the protein down. I do this every day, and write it down and see at the end of the day how much you ate.
Grams wise.
You would be disgusted, most likely, about how much fat you ate, and even carbohydrates, and how little protein you probably ate.
Correct.
And when you get that really dialed in, it's not a rocket science. It doesn't have to be exact. But if you can talk to a trainer or somebody that has that advice, and you can get a little bit more dialed in. I'm not saying macros is for everybody, guy or girl, but if you can really get that dialed in, it really can help you change your body composition, as you've seen. When you actually sit down and look at it, most people have no clue.
Yeah, it's two things. One, consult your doctor, your trainer. Two, with any of this stuff, right? Like, don't do what we just did in 75 Hard unless you have the adequate support.
Yeah, reach out to
It's
people.
super important. But yeah, I would definitely do a baseline test. Like, I would say, like, I would just write, like, just eat normal. Don't fucking change anything. What's your normal diet? Look at what your fat and your carbohydrate and your protein take is. The problem that we have right now in America is that we're overeating fat. We're not eating enough protein. Let me just tell you again, we're overeating in the fat category, which has the most calories, the most calorie dense nutrient. And you're eating too much of it. You're eating too little of the most important nutrient that you can ever have, which is protein, the building blocks of your entire body. And you're too focused on the third, which is carbohydrates. You're too focused on it. You're so focused on not eating carbs or salad wrap or what is it called? Protein style fucking In-N-Out burger. When in all reality, that same double has 110 grams of fat. Just because it has no carbs is the problem why you're fat.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm saying that in frustration and in passion because that is me, dude. Like, I've led the wrong way. It's not carbohydrates. It's your enemy, my friends. It's the fat that you're eating and you're not eating enough protein.
Yeah. We had friends say like, hey, what are you doing, diet wise? And I would say, what I was eating, and I'd be like, hey, you should see what you're eating. And the next day you'd see the person or whoever it was online or whatnot, and they'd say, how do you keep your fat so low?
Yeah.
You can do it. You just have to look at where you're going to get your fat from. And a lot of times you're like, wow, I actually have to eat like real clean like food, like avocado, and like turkey has a little bit of fat in it. Chicken has a little bit of fat in it. Like there is fat in certain things. But yeah, you can do it. You just have to go to the grocery store and not DoorDash.
Yeah. 100%. And that's the thing. Convenience and speed kills, convenience and speed kills, not only literally the game, i.e. business, convenience and speed, but it also kills you. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
And then like the last thing about diet, we got to move on because we have so much shit to cover. Thanks for sticking with us. Last thing I'll say about diet too is don't eat like an asshole. Like you can do the macros, right? But like you also got to set parameters. Like don't eat fried foods, don't eat pizza, don't eat ice cream. Like you got to realize that those things all have those macronutrients in them, but they're not from the right places. They're processed. They're just, you're going to find carbohydrates, fat, and protein everywhere, but you can't eat those things.
Clean diet. It's got to be clean, healthy food. Use some common sense.
Correct. Speaking of clean, healthy, a gallon of water. We got a lot of water in us right now. 75 gallons.
Took a diuretic about 2 hours ago for some pictures.
Piss every
tomorrow,
15 minutes.
So it's coming out.
What thoughts on the gallon of water? Any trials, tribulations? Just going through each task.
I drink a lot of water normally, and probably not a gallon. I'm kind of afraid of not drinking a gallon now because I don't want to get headaches. It sounds kind of weird, but I think it's definitely attainable. I think it would be very difficult for females, but
sure,
if one female can do it, another one can do it. If one guy can do it, another guy can do it. It's hard. It is. And you have to start early. And I've definitely had to chug some water and felt super bloated and had to pee all night. But it's a non-negotiable. It's part of the program and you do what's on the program.
You got to do these things before midnight too. So like the gallon of water thing, two things that I think of as we kind of go through these tasks is, one, you can't drink really anything else. And, we do live in the desert, but it was cold. It's a little bit different, man. This wasn't in the summer. I'm sure when we do the summer shit, it'll be super easy. But you got to like just drink water. And if you just drink water, you have a gallon every single day, you buy a new one, you fill it up every single day, you'll be just fine. Just measure it. Don't forget to drink it. It's really important to do. And then the gallon of water thing, I'll tell you right now, like, your body's made of 75% or whatever water. So is this earth. The more water that I drank, the more clarity that I had mentally. Those are the coolest things that I noticed.
Black coffee and water.
Black coffee and water is literally all we drank. And it fed my brain, man. I felt like I was just always in a mental state that I didn't feel laggard or so on and so forth. And there's all these studies about drinking.
Comes from the booze.
An amplitude of water. Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go on to that, right? Let's switch it up a little bit. Instead of booze, we were drinking water, but part of the tasks is not to drink for 75 days.
Yeah. You get the water, the diet,
and
the no booze. And the no booze is, my mom brought up a great example about this. And, most of us have our first drink at let's just call it 20 years old. Say you have a drink at 20, 30 years old now. Yeah, Bullhead. In Bullhead, they start them.
Hey, man, Bullhead's better than No Head, baby.
It's probably the same as Scottsdale, But yeah, you have a drink at 20, and then let's say you're 30 years old now. It's 10 years, if my math is correct. Yeah, I believe it's 10, right? CFO. 10 years, though, you probably haven't gone a week. My mother said this shout out to Lori, love her to death.
Yeah.
A week of your life in 10 years without having a fog over you.
Sure.
From drinking. Because let's say you have a couple glasses of wine, the next day you're always kind of foggy, like maybe it's the wine, or you go through sales and you drink all the time like we did, and you've been foggy every single week for at least a day or two for 10 years. You've been in a fog.
True. Yeah.
And then you stop drinking for 75 days. It's like rehab.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that it works.
It works, man. I mean, you think about a couple of things. One, your serotonin levels drop so far after that day after. You feel so shitty about yourself. And every single time that you drink, that next day when you're hungover, what do you say to yourself? I got to get my shit together the next day. As soon as I get through this hangover, I'm going to get my ass back in the gym. That's what I was telling myself.
I'm not going to drink like that anymore.
I'm not going to drink like that again. Yeah, exactly. Those are things. You look at, the thing, I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink tomorrow. And because I want to celebrate. Because I want to celebrate what we just did. I'm going to get right back on the program. We'll talk about what's next.
Yeah.
But I'm going to drink. I like drinking. I personally like drinking. And to be truthful, I probably had a problem with it. I mean, I was drinking 3 or 4 drinks a night.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, this saved me from that. I did 30 days before my birthday too. It's like now it feels like I have an on-off switch that I didn't have before.
It's a choice.
I didn't have the on-off switch.
You control the choice now.
Yeah, it was like, hey, this is doing, and you always find an excuse. Like it's da-da-da's birthday, the Super Bowl party. It's, my girlfriend's birthday was January 22nd. We went to Maple and Ash. How hard was that? That was not fucking easy.
Yeah.
Spring training's here. Super Bowl was here. Everything, like
all those events.
We went to the Waste Management Open.
Yeah, Waste
Wasted Management Open.
With a bottle of water.
Bottle of water. No booze. Not even one sip of booze for 75 days. Yeah. And it feels incredible. And you think about the most successful people in the world.
Yeah.
They don't drink.
Wonder why.
Wouldn't you know, guys, let me tell you something right now. I was telling you this. I get animated every time. Didn't you know that I haven't had one drink in 75 days? I haven't had one stomach issue. Not one. Not one morning did I not make it somewhere that I needed to be. Not one morning was I late somewhere. Not one morning did I send that text or make that white little lie. Hey, I'm sick. My car's da-da-da. I can't make a workout. Nope. None of that. You know what else happened? Not one time in 75 days did I get in a fight with my fucking girlfriend.
Yeah.
Huh. Who knew? What could it be?
Weird.
There's no way that it can't not be that I didn't drink and I wasn't a fucking asshole.
Alcohol.
Yeah, it's alcohol.
Yeah.
It's the problem. And you guys might not think that. You're watching this right now like, sure, try it.
Maybe these guys. Yeah, I know all of you, and I've been around you, and I've been around every relationship, and I'm the first one to say it. I think alcohol causes more problems in relationships than anything else in the world. More than financial problems. It has to be. And there's something to it.
You look at like the most successful people in the world. They don't drink. I'm not saying I'm never going to drink again because I'm going to drink, but I'm not going to drink like we used to.
Never.
I'm never going back. Speaking of never going back, we did do these progress pictures every single day.
Yes.
What I'd like to do, I know our
wait till
pastor,
people see him.
Pastor Rob, he's going to see this in this video. This is what's going to happen. Check this out. Wait. Pastor Rob, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to show a before picture of me. Day one, I already sent it to you. And then show an after picture. And this is me. 75 days, and that's the transformation.
Unbelievable.
It's cool. It's good to see. It's pretty cool to see.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm proud of it, but it's progress, not perfection. And I'm not even fucking close to where I'm going to be.
1% into your journey.
Exactly. Not even close.
1%.
I want you to do the same thing for Connor. So if you can put up on the screen a before picture.
Day one.
Already in shape. Guy's fucking already has a 6-pack. Looking good. But check this out. Look at the after picture.
Day 75.
Again, we're just talking about 75 days, guys. It's 2.5 months. Look at this guy. He's fucking shredded.
A little tanner.
And that's not even, we're a little tan right now. But we got a photo shoot tomorrow morning. These are photos that you guys just saw without those, without us even having actually have a professional photo. Those are just before and after photos that we took ourselves.
5 a.m.
Because every single day you got to take a progress photo. And now you can make like a little flip book, and we definitely can, and we definitely might, which is good. That thing just died again. It's insane.
I think it did.
Let's keep the audio going. We'll just roll through. If that's okay, unless you want to grab it, it's going to continue to do that.
No, that's fine with me.
So last but not least, we got a couple other things. One is reading. Dude, thoughts on reading? Like that just, you can't do an audiobook, guys. Sorry, just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I love reading, and it's so funny because in high school, I couldn't stand reading. And I always think of the book, The Count of Monte Cristo. I couldn't even tell you what it's about, which is terrible. And I've heard that it's actually a good book. I probably should read it. I just think of that book because I remember this, and it had to have been maybe junior year. I hated reading in high school because it was stuff that I personally didn't care about at the time. And that was high school in general for me. I didn't see how it was going to benefit me in my life. And that's the nonfiction part of this. But reading is all of these people that are older than you or have done what you want to do because you choose what you want to read, It's all of their lives and their stories and their mistakes written down so that you can read them and you can learn from them so that you can save yourself time to not make the same mistakes and you can learn things. And I don't know about you, but I don't plan on going back to school anytime soon.
No.
Reading is the only way to make yourself smarter and go back to school unless you're going to go back to class. So if you're not reading, your intelligence level right now is never going to get anywhere and everyone else is going to get smarter.
Yeah. Where do I begin? I'm not a big reader. I can't read good. No, I'm a good reader. I haven't really read very often. I haven't read since high school. Just like you said, a lot of people don't read past high school period, which is crazy. But what I found a lot of value in is, I guess, a couple things. Andy says it's the best, but active reading. You're only reading 10 pages at a time. It takes 10 minutes max if you're actually doing it the right way and understanding the book and not to just get through, which I found myself sometimes just trying to get through the pages. Mm-hmm. There's fucking days, dude. There's weeks in this program, ladies and gentlemen, because it's fucking hard, where you're just like, excuse my French, by the way, for all the parents listening and stuff. My bad, Lori, my bad. But it's true. It's like, it's really hard. There's some days where you just get through, but if you're doing it the right way, like I found a lot of value in, I read a couple different books. I read 5 books total. I found value in actually highlighting things, writing things down, and actually really pertaining a lot of the information and lessons learned to our business specifically, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Learning new books, but the reading is something that is sticking with me. Like the no booze thing and not drinking, the workout thing, 2 45-minute workouts every day. I don't know, which we're going to get to. I don't think I can do that every single day, but I know I can drink a gallon of water every day or get damn near close to it. Easy. I know what to eat and what not to eat now. And I know damn sure that I'm actually going to read 10 pages per day.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do everything I possibly can to. Am I going to take a progress picture every day? No. But when I'm on this program, obviously I will.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot. I feel like I've learned quite a ton. What's your favorite book so far that you read? 75 Hard. What was your favorite that you read?
Ooh, I like Embrace the Suck by Nick Bare.
Okay.
It's a great book.
Mine was $100 Million Offers, Alex Hormozy. I mean, it was unbelievable. I couldn't put it down. I took it everywhere with me. I ended up reading because they're big. It's like a workbook.
Yeah, it is.
I read a ton.
I've got it. You gave it
to me.
Yeah,
I gave it to you. You got it. It's incredible.
I'm through it right now.
That was by far, and I read Donald Trump's Think Big book, and it was good. He says it all, which is sweet. Last, but certainly not least, 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outdoors. Thoughts on it, do's, don'ts, questions, things for the people.
Yeah. I think people are afraid they don't go to the gym right now regularly. And I think that you just have to get over that. And there's going to be people in the gym. And I say this all the time. I see people in the gym. I've never, ever seen someone in the gym, and I like to think that I'm in fairly good shape, and I've been like, why is that fat person in here? Why is that person that doesn't have a lot of muscle tone in here?
Yeah.
I look at every person in the gym and I'm like, good for them.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people that's like, I only work out 3 days a week, it's been months since I've been to a gym, I don't want to go join that gym. Everybody's in shape in that gym. No one cares. They're there to improve themselves, and they're happy that you're there too.
Yeah, like Ed Milet says this all the time, but you're always worried about what people are thinking about you, and they're worried about what you're thinking about them.
Such a waste of time.
And it's like there's no reason for it. Everyone that supports and appreciates you, like, go to the gym and stop with this. People need to stop this. It bothers me so much because I've been in the gym my whole life. You can't tell. Now you can, maybe. I need to get in better shape before I go to the X gym. I need to get in better shape before I take that Pilates class. I need to take better shape before I go to Body, for example. It's like, no, you don't. Just go.
Yeah, just go.
It's all scalable.
Once you're a day or two in, it gets rolling and gets rolling and gets rolling, and you get in a routine. It's going to take 75 days for some people to get in a routine. Yep. That's the point. It's not going to take 3 weeks. The workouts, indoor and outdoor. I think one at the gym. I love the gym. I have to go to the gym. I would be way more of an asshole if I didn't go to the gym. I'd be a grouch in this office if I didn't go to the gym. I wouldn't be happy with myself when I look in the mirror if I didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
The outdoor workout, and you can talk to this, but I think the outdoor workout, and we've had people ask us, like, 45 minutes, I could run 20 miles in 45 minutes. It's not the workout for 45 minutes. You do need to actually work out. I mean, that's the point of it. It is a workout. We're not out on a stroll here.
Sure, yeah.
But the other workout is 45 minutes, and it has to be outdoors. Andy always says, you can jump rope, you can do jumping jacks, whatever. And I've done multiple things like that. A lot of times you do a lot of walk, run, cardio.
Yeah.
But it's the being alone and being outside and away from the screen that for me was so important, because I didn't need to do a ton of cardio per se to get in better shape for me. For me, it was being alone, being outside, doing it after work. It was very inconvenient, and it was dark out 99% of the times that I did it. And it was peaceful and it was quiet, and it let me get in my thoughts, or it let me, plug in my AirPods and listen to Real AF. And it allowed me to remember that being alone is a good thing. And it was very peaceful. So the outdoor workout, you might think it's a workout outdoor, you're sweating. For me, it was the mental aspect of it, and it also helped me get in shape.
Yeah, like to the gym thing too. I was thinking about this while you were talking. Like, you guys need to lift weights. Like, you need to lift weights.
Yeah.
You need to create muscle on your body, because every year that, I don't know if it's male or female, I don't care what it is, but every year after you're age 30, you lose 1 to 2% of your muscle mass. So there's supplementation you can leverage and use. There's doctor stuff that you can leverage and use if you're doing TRT or whatever the case is. Like, go consult your doctor, but you need to lift weights. You can be 60 years old and you can be one of two ways, or somewhere in the middle, but you can be a fat, out of shape because you had no lean body mass, you never lifted weights. I don't want to be bulky for women. Like, knock it off. Lift weights. You need muscle mass. So get in the gym. And if you don't know where to start, hire a trainer. If you don't know where to start, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Just YouTube shit.
Yeah.
Do 3 sets of 15 at something that the 13, 14, and 15th rep is hard. And
I find workouts on YouTube every single
And you've been
night.
doing this for how long? 15 years?
I've been working out for 20 years.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, like, so my point is, got to make sure you do that. The second workout for sure. I did the Biltmore Loop quite a bit. I've jumped rope. I did body. I did, which we run on the canals and do all kinds of crazy shit. Weights outside. I did the Biltmore Loop a lot, which I think I literally like solved my life, planned my life, talked to myself the entire time, pitched clients out loud, which I probably looked crazy, but I had my AirPods in. I rehearsed meetings that we had at the company. I solved world hunger. Like, I'm just kidding, but like, there, you do so many different things. It's so peaceful.
It really is.
To do that second workout, but it's inconvenient. Look, nobody wants to go change again, shower again. If you're anything like me, I shower like 3 times a day. I'm a psycho.
You do. You change your clothes a lot.
I change my clothes a lot. Like, I'm just weird, dude. It is what it is. I like being showered and clean. Like, shout out.
Same too. OCD.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But no one wants to do that stuff. But that's the whole entire point. And all of these things that we just went through, we went through all of the tasks. There's no shortcuts, guys.
No.
There's no, what if I did this and what if I did that? The program is the program. And the reason why the program is the way it is to create mental toughness and discipline, which you can leverage and use for eons, forever into your existence, and set the example for. So those are my two. That's my thing about working out. It's just you need muscle. The second workout was awesome for sure. But it was cool every day seeing your fucking beautiful face in there, dude. You know?
I will continue to walk too for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the program is the outdoor workout, getting the jog in and running, and there's just something about being outside.
Yeah.
Humans are stuck in their house, and if you think about it, you wake up, you're on your phone, you're in your email, you're working on your computer, you get home, you watch Netflix, you check your phone, you go to bed, and you repeat it and you repeat it. You are stuck in a screen, and humans are not made to be stuck in a screen. Like, there's so much beauty out there, and there's so much peace, and there's so much fresh air.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying I'm Mr. Nature, but the last 75 days have really opened my eyes to that. And the walk and the outdoor cardio will never be something like Go Ruck. Like, that's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
I just bought 2 Pelotons that I'm going to drag out in my backyard on Saturday when they get here, the treadmill and the bike,
just get out
so that I can do more outdoor cardio.
I mean, working out's a huge part of obviously our life. We're going to continue that whole thing. I mean, our whole plan is, we'll talk about the plan in 2 seconds. We kind of wind down, but working out's a big deal. Working out, you have to, guys, please listen, listeners, please, you have to move your body. Think about this. This program's simple in 20,000 foot view. Move your body twice a day for 45 minutes. Eat better. Drink a gallon of water, which is the lifeblood to our entire earth. Take some pictures because you deserve some recognition for your hard work. Read and feed your mind, and stop poisoning your body with alcohol. That's all this is. Yeah. You got to think about it a little bit differently.
Holy shit, it works. I said that many times. Holy shit,
it works.
Andy Frisilla. No kidding, it works.
Speaking of it working, let's we're winding down here. Thanks for listening. Obviously, we appreciate you. Share our show if you got anything from it, or if you think that someone needs to hear this or is going to do this or whatever. We're just trying to help out. But lessons that you've learned, and then we'll give some advice, some thank yous, and we'll get out of here. So lessons you've learned.
The main lesson that for me that I learned, I told you this earlier, is being alone is okay. And sometimes that's what you need to realize who you want around you.
Sure.
And I think for me, for many years, I never gave myself, I always had roommates or was in a relationship, what have you. And that was a fault of my own. And I needed to get some things in order in my life, relationship wise, business wise, even fitness wise. For me, I wasn't in the shape that I wanted to be in, but I needed to be alone to realize who was important to me, that who I valued in my life. And the people that are in my life this very second are the most important people in my entire life. And the people that I haven't been around, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because I needed certain things to be removed from my life so that I could fix myself. And the biggest lesson was being alone. And this is I told Nicole this the other day, it's a very lonely program. Yeah. Even if your significant other is there all the time, because, hey, I got to go do this workout. Hey, I got to go do this. Hey, I got to eat my own food. Hey, you can eat this. That's fine. You're doing a lot of things on your own, even if you have incredible support like we did. Being alone is okay.
Yeah. I thought about this after we had this conversation. We were on our walk today. One is, I told you, there's two lessons I think I learned the most, and I put some words to it a little bit different. One is, this ain't no dress rehearsal. Mm-hmm. At some point, like my biggest fear, you said my biggest fear is like waking up or dying and then literally meeting the person that I should have been and should have lived the life of in the pearly gates. Or
Hermosa talks about that.
Yeah, like literally like leaving things on the table and dying without living to my full potential is the whole point. But this ain't no dress rehearsal. And this has changed my life. Like, it's literally mentally, I'm more clear than I ever have been. My vocabulary is better than it's ever have been. Our company, like everything mentally from a mental capacity has changed. It's like the limitless, Bill.
Yeah.
Emotionally, the range and bandwidth of which I can leverage and use my emotions at any given time, understand the question behind the question of maybe my spouse or significant other, or if we're having a conversation or whatever the case, like understand the emotions that are going into it, how to tap into those. Unbelievable. Physically, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. It's awesome to feel. My relationship's the best it's ever been. My friendships are the best they've ever, you only get one go around in life. At some point, you're going to fall asleep and you're not going to wake up. Yeah. So take this shit serious. And this is a great catalyst. My lesson is this is a great catalyst to realize those things, to sharpen those tools, and to like restart your life if you want to restart it or enhance the one that you already have.
And to realize how much you can do with 75 days.
It's such a
short period of time, but it's also it's plenty of enough time to get things in order.
It's such a short amount of time, but you only have one dress rehearsal. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is your life. Like, at some point, you're going to wake up from this click and this autopilot bullshit you've been in. You're going to be pissed off at your fucking life. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell yourself these lies over and over again that I'm too young. I'm young. I got plenty of time. Or I'm too old. Time has passed me. Yeah. And you're going to go in this conundrum, and it's going to always do that until it passes to the other side. So it's like, you don't have enough time. Get your ass going and know you're not too old. Do it right now. Mm-hmm. Second lesson I learned was trusting myself. You build confidence through telling yourself, false started how many times? I told you guys. Mm-hmm. You tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. You tend to stop trusting yourself or believing in yourself, and you have less self-confidence. Mm-hmm. I learned how to trust myself that, hey, I'm going to do something and I'm going to finish it. No matter what temptation, thing that comes up, test day, fucking test days where you fucking stub your toe, you bang your elbow, the worst things ever, your loans are falling apart, your girlfriend's, whatever. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these test days But no matter what the trials and tribulations may be, you stick through it, through grit, through discipline, and through some fortitude. But you trust yourself because you made a decision to do it. And it is a choice, man. It's a choice. It was a choice to not drink every single day. It was a choice to have the kale chips instead of the potato chips. I would never eat kale chips. But you know, like seriously,
salad.
There's a choice to read
chicken.
10 pages every day. There was a choice to do all this stuff when we were sore and it was cold and it was fucking early February.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to do it. When we did a Super Bowl party at your house and we wanted to eat 15 Jimmy John sandwiches and I wanted to drink every bottle of tequila you had in the house.
Yeah.
It was a choice every single day. So those are things that I learned for sure.
I love that.
What advice would you give somebody that's either starting or maybe restarting or anything like that?
Advice for people thinking about doing it. I would just say, just do it. Andy always says, like, you know, there's never going to be a perfect time to do it, which I completely agree with. There's never going to be a perfect time. There's always going to be a birthday. There's always going to be a vacation. There's always going to be something that you have going on. And luckily, I didn't have to travel really during this segment. And I think that you can maybe plan it out a little bit. And I think that you should sit down for 1 hour and look at your schedule and, you know, decide if you're going to do it and then just fucking do it. But tell the people around you what you're doing.
Yes.
You know, have them listen to episode 208 of Real AF. It explains the entire program. If they listen to it, then they will totally understand, like, hey, you're not the only crazy one. This guy's crazy too. And this is why you're doing it. And for me, it just becomes non-negotiable once you start. But just start, plan out what you're going to do.
Yes.
Get a gym membership, do all the things. It's 5 tasks, buy a book, and just start. And just know, if you start and then you quit and you don't do it, you're going to feel like shit and you're going to have to restart. Because you're always going to want to do it.
Yeah.
You're always going to want to do it. But if you can get it done, it's not explainable how much it will benefit you financially, mentally, and obviously physically. I cannot explain it until you've done it. And if you're going to do it, do not cheat and do not let your spouse tell you, well, I like to drink, or no, babe, we're not going to do that. I like to drink, or we have this trip. Fuck that. If you're going to change it, you're going to change it for yourself, and they're going to be happy that you did it if they really care about it.
They're going to say thank you.
And we've had tremendous support from our spouses.
Yes.
And it's incredible.
It's awesome. Dude, commit, plan, execute. Commit, plan, execute. The feeling that you're talking about, guys, I'm telling you right now, I can't explain it. You just have to feel it. I can't explain it, man. It is. I can't explain the feeling of 75 days of doing all this stuff. I can't explain. And you might be thinking, it's 75 days. Dude, just do it. You'll see exactly what I'm saying. But you got to commit to this program. If you're going to do it, do it. You have to plan and be prepared to be calculated, because you're going to miss some shit if you don't. And then you just got to execute. No matter how you feel, the winners execute. It doesn't matter if they don't feel like it that day, or if something comes up, or whatever the case is, they just execute on what it is.
I want to say one thing too,
please.
Because I know that there are people right now that are like, well, it must be nice, you know, 2 guys that aren't married that don't have kids. If that popped into your head, that's why you look like shit. And I'm just going to go into it. And that is why your spouse is not happy with the way that you look, and even if they won't say it to you. That's why
you're having sex 3 times a month instead of 3 times a week.
You keep your shirt on when you go to the pool.
4 times a week.
Avoid pool parties. And that is why you're not financially where you want to be, or you're not happy. Because if that, what popped into your head is, man, this must be nice for these guys. They're not married. They don't have kids. They don't know what it's like. That's your fucking excuse for everything.
It's the lies that you tell yourself.
There are millions and millions and millions of people that have kids, that have been pregnant, and that have done this program. And you can go look at #75hard and find all these people that have done this program that have the same shit as you. Yeah, I chose not to be married yet, not to have kids. You chose to do it. You made a choice to do that. If you want to make a choice to impress your kids, then fucking take your life seriously.
Well, that's the ownership piece too, right? You are where you are in life, or where you aren't in life, based off the decisions that you made. And the lies that you tell yourself every day. You get up in the morning, you say, oh, my knee got hurt in football 15 years ago, and that's why I can't run. Oh, well, I have kids. I can't do this. I don't have the time. Oh, well, my work won't allow. You find the time. You wrap your knee up. You cook food and learn how to cook via YouTube. Like, dude, I can't agree with you or echo that anymore. It's the lies that people are going to continue to tell themselves that they're like, I just can't do it. And then, dude, look, the other thing is too, I just, some advice. You got to have a strong why on why you're doing it. We did. Mm-hmm. After you commit, plan, you got to have a strong why, because that's the stuff that's going to get you through, along with your support system, right? Which is, we're going to thank people and obviously tell them what our next steps are. But you got to have a great support system. I had the blessing of having you. I mean, I probably wouldn't have done, I probably 95% chance that I probably wouldn't have been able to finish without you. The 5%, I'm giving myself some credit. Yeah, I've done it.
I appreciate that.
But you got to have a really strong support system. People that aren't going to try and drag you down while you're trying to climb out of the bucket, the crabs in the bucket theory. You know, you got to have a great support system. So speaking of that, who are you? Who would you like to thank? Some thoughts, any final thoughts, and then we'll talk about what we're doing next.
Yeah, thanks. I would definitely like to thank you.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know, it's the same thing. I would pull up every morning and see your car parked right there, and I could see that you were sitting in your car listening to your podcast. And I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Or if I knew I was going to be 5 minutes late, I would text you like, hey, I'm going to be 2 minutes late, just so you knew I was coming. I'm coming. Like, I promise I'm going to be there. Like, if I ate too slow, or, I was getting a coffee and the person in front of me took too long, I would tell you. I'd like to thank my significant other, Nicole. Like, we're better than we've ever been. And she's kicking ass, and she's working out, she's building her business, and the support has been unbelievable. And it's been, how can I help with food, and how can I help with this? How can I make things easier? And like, it's just amazing. And things are better than they've ever been. And that's, I think, a lot to do with this program. And then
it's all kudos to you though, man. I mean, you're putting in the work, right?
For sure. Yeah. Just, it's a long journey for sure. My parents have been super supportive, and my close friends have been super supportive about everything. And, we talked earlier, if people aren't supportive, then hey, it is what it is. I'm trying to do this for me, not for you.
Yeah.
I'll bring the people with me that want to come with me.
Yeah.
And then, I have to thank Andy Frisilla.
Dude, 100%.
I mean, the guy's completely changed my entire life.
Yeah.
And I mean it in the most respectful way. It's just, the guy's fucking real, and he tells it how it is. And look at your bank account, look at your body. I respect every aspect of this guy's life, and I really appreciate what he's done for me as a person. And my goal is to share that with other people and just continue to spread the message, because it's important.
I've been thinking about this a lot, because I knew we were going to do this thank you thing. Cleaners are coming in. How awesome is that? By the way, while we're recording this, speaking of this, and we have an early morning tomorrow, we had an early morning today. Yeah. It's almost 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we're rolling.
So you got to put some fucking work in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this a lot. And this is going to, I just want to go through this systematically. The first thing that I want to do is thank God, because I know you're not a religious person, but dude, I am. Mm-hmm. And by the grace of God, I was saved. I got baptized of Easter of last year, so it'll almost be a year. Not like a reborn again fucking weird shit that all these people are super into, but it saved my life, and I see him show up all the time. He showed up in Andy's life at some point and gave him the idea to create this.
Yeah. And
it touched so many lives, millions of people. And it was a thought, it was an idea, a genesis that came into Andy's head. So the first thing I would think is thank God, because without him, we wouldn't be here. But without him giving the idea to Andy, then ultimately none of this is possible. Second person is probably Andy. I mean, dude, like, you put something out there for free, everybody kicks ass on it. Like, it's really, really cool. And I have all the respect in the world. Hopefully one day we get to meet him, and so on and so forth. Dude's awesome. Arte and just everything that the guy embodies, we're trying to replicate. And hopefully he knows this. The biggest form of flattery is imitation.
Yeah.
We try and imitate what he does, because why not? It is what it is.
Share the message.
Yeah, the third people, I mean, literally Chloe, I think, it's been awesome. She's kind of joined the journey, and she's cooking food, and she's helping me out. And, it's definitely, I'm not an easy person to deal with in general. Mood swings in the beginning of this thing. I mean, it was crazy from not eating. So kudos to her. Our relationship's never been better, just like your guys's. And that's a kudos and testament. You obviously have already thanked, and
of course,
can't thank enough. Our guys and our support system and our close friends that actually are giving a shit and caring and supporting and giving us things and motivation, sending us memes.
Corey Upton too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
love that guy.
Yeah, Corey, for being our trainer, obviously. I think that was huge. And You know, real talk, man, I want to thank me. Look, man, and I'm just, it might sound fucking crazy.
I almost said it. That was the first thing I was going to say. I love that you said that.
Dude, I might sound fucking crazy, but no, I'm the only motherfucker that got up at the fucking 4:45 in the morning every day. Yeah. I'm the only motherfucker with the sorest legs in the world after squatting 4 plates with your fucking crazy ass that had to like barely able to sit on the shitter.
Yeah.
I want to thank me because, dude, you know what, man? I fucking did it. You fucking did it. We did it. And we made the decision every day. All that stuff. Thanking God, thanking Andy, thanking you, thanking Chloe, thanking all our friends. It's great. We did the work.
Yep, we do the work.
We did the work, man. And, you know, I wanted to thank myself, and I know you'd thank yourself because sometimes we don't thank ourselves enough, man, for the things that we do or provide recognition. You got to toot your own horn sometimes. I'm toot, motherfucker, because that shit was fucking hard. So,
absolutely.
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? I mean, immediately I'm gonna go get some sleep here, and then tomorrow we got photos, and we'll officially be done when we wake up, which will be a great feeling. And then I'm gonna have a couple good meals, and maybe a couple drinks, and then right back in April we're back at it on phase 1. This is not a hey, let's go celebrate and drink like crazy, and man, those guys fell off the wheel. It's right back at it in 2 weeks, and this is how life's going to be from now on.
Yeah. So I'm going to Tucson, going to a golf tournament, and have a few brew pops, some good food for sure, and then I'm back on the 22nd. Got a couple events between now and the first or second, but we're back on April. Mm-hmm. We're doing phase 1 in April of 2023. If you want to join us, or if you're starting 75 hard, you can do it in the middle, but it's literally the same exact thing, but for 30 days. You add a 5-minute cold shower, 10 minutes of visualization, 3 more critical power list tasks. So we're going to start that in August. We're going to do phase 2, which is sweet. And then at the end of the year, we're doing phase 3. So we are going to complete the entire Live Hard program in 2023. I couldn't be more excited.
I can't wait.
If it's anything like we just experienced the last 75 days, we're going to obviously be better for it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we fucking wrapped it up. And
that's
dude,
fantastic.
we fucking crushed it.
That was awesome. I can keep going. It's great.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. Obviously, thanks for going through that with me.
Thank you for having me.
100%. Excited, your first guest ever.
Yeah,
it's
sweet. So funny. I told you I always wanted to be the first guest. You're building something awesome here.
Thanks,
too.
Man.
So people, this doesn't go unnoticed. So be proud of what you're doing here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, guys. Follow, like, subscribe, share our shit. And hopefully the word gets out. And again, appreciate you watching. See ya. Bye.
Yes, sir.